Good morning, doctor. This is my research proposal, and my title is The Influence of Task-Driven Flipped Classroom Instructional Mode on English Learning of Rural Middle School Students in China. This proposal includes three parts. The first is the introduction. The second is the literature review. The third is the methodology of research. First, this study aims to explore the effects of a task-driven flipped classroom on English knowledge achievement, learning ability, and learning satisfaction of junior middle school students in rural China. With the rapid development of science and technology, a variety of information-based teaching platforms continue to emerge, making primary and secondary schools have more choice in education mode, learning resource, learning careers, and so on. In school education, more attention is paid to students' achievement and more a traditional instructional mode is used. The development of the times has higher requirements for students' independent learning ability. In order to cultivate students' autonomous learning ability, teachers must pay more attention to the dominant position of students. And junior high school student English teaching takes are tasks. Junior high school English teaching tasks are large. Class hours are tense, but the students' performance requirements are high. So it's important to find a more suitable teaching model to improve students' achievement, ability, and satisfaction. Um, this research takes junior high school English course as an example to investigate the influence of task-driven flipped classroom instructional mode and traditional instructional mode on students' achievement, learning ability, satisfaction in learning English among rural middle school students in China. The research question of this study are: is there a significant difference of using task-driven flipped classroom instructional mode and traditional instructional mode on students' achievement, learning ability, satisfaction in learning English among rural middle school students in China? So, the following hypotheses will be evaluated to answer the above research question, and there are relatively few studies on combination of task-driven and flipped classroom. This study can verify the implementation effect of task-driven flipped classroom teaching mode in basic education stage and provides a basis for other courses to carry out flipped classroom teaching mode. In this research, the definition is given to the important terms that are used in this research, including task-driven method, flipped the classroom, students' achievement, students' learning ability, students' satisfaction. Um, the second chapter will further explain the related series of this study and the related past studies, the conceptual framework of the study. The first series is constructivist learning theory. In the task-driven flipped classroom, Teachers return the classroom to students and set a series of tasks in the flipped classroom to promote students to actively process information, get students to autonomous learning and cooperation learning. Is closer to the requirements of constructivism learning theory. The second is the master learning theory. The task-driven method is introduced in the teaching of flipped classroom. Through the completion of step-by-step learning tasks, students are guided to develop into higher-order thinking. And the third is humanistic learning theory. Based on this theory, this study focuses on students' individualist development and independent development. The last one is zone of proximal development theory. In order to design a suitable learning task for students, teachers should pay more attention to the student's recent development zone. There are two types of variables. Uh, it it called it calls independent variables and independent variables. Independent variables is in instructional mode. It includes task-driven flipped classroom instructional mode and a traditional instructional mode. And the dependent variables include the student's achievement, ability, and satisfaction. Uh, the third chapter describes a research design, population, research samples, research instruments, data collection methods, and data analysis methods. This study used experimental research to test hypotheses and found the relationship between variables. The students will be divided into two groups: experimental group and control group. The whole study period was uh, the whole study period um, 8 weeks. Satisfaction and ability questionnaire will be conducted in the first week and the eighth week. As for the achievement test, through a quasi-experimental design, both groups will be given a pre-test in the first week to ensure that students have the same basis and will be comparable. The test will be repeated at week 4 and week 8 to calculate changes in scores before and after comparison. To, to compare the effect of the two teaching modes on students' English learning achievement, ability, and satisfaction. The population in this study is middle school students studying in rural middle school in our city. The sample of this study is students from two middle schools in our city. I will use simple written sample and select two of all rural middle school in our city for research because their teaching speed and level is the same. Uh, this, stud- this study adopt the English achievement test, learning ability, and satisfaction questionnaire. This study, the first research instrument of this study is the pre-test, mid-test, and post-test of English learning achievements. The second instrument is a questionnaire survey including the pre-questionnaire and post-questionnaire of learning ability and satisfaction. According to the study design, that data on students' achievement, ability, satisfaction will be collected through tests and questionnaire. Uh, uh, that's all. Thank you.